All right, this is section 1.1. It's just an intro to linear equations. And this is sort of what everything's based on. Now, you have to be careful because linear algebra, it goes way beyond just this construct of linear equations, but this is really a great departure point. It doesn't have to be, but many texts use this, and I think it mimics history because certainly we were much more interested in equations before we were interested in some of the other aspects we're going to see here. And so a linear equation, a linear equation is just anything of the form where we have something like a1 x1 plus a2 x2 plus a3 x3, so lots of variables there, but just a single constant coefficient, no powers, we aren't dividing by anything, anything like that. And so here we have n variables, each multiplied by some constant, and we sum them up and we set that equal to some b. That is a linear equation, and the AI's are real numbers. Okay, that are given. And B is also real and given. Oops, and given. There we go. So that's what we're going to be dealing with. And so as we get into this, we're going to want to look at these things in three ways. At these in three ways. And now for us, mostly we're really going to look in two ways, but I'll list the three. So what we've already seen is algebraic. So algebraically, we're going to look at these, and that's this idea of what we have here. The second way we'll look at them or think about them is geometric. Okay, and here you can think of things like plotting. And here, I guess, go back up here and we'll say equations. And then plotting. And then three, numerically. In this class, actually, we don't do as much with that. We'll do mostly symbolic things, which would be the algebra, and graphical things, which would be the geometry. So, we want to look at things, I guess this would be geometrically. Algebraically, geometrically, and numerically. And so, if we take something we're much more familiar with, our example, the first example that they really give us in the text is, suppose I have something like 2x plus 3y equals 6. Then you see this is algebra. It's a symbolic way of relating this notion. And what the heck does this mean? Well, this is telling us this is a relationship between unknowns x and y. And so here's our relationship, is that we're thinking of a set. Okay, so thinking of a set of XY pairs which satisfy this relationship. Okay, so that's algebraically. So sort of symbolically, we've said, oh yeah, this is the case. So there's my algebra. Now, what we know is that if we use a Cartesian coordinate system, and I go here to x equal 3 and go up here to y equal 2 and draw that line, this is our graphical or geometric, so graphic, geometric, this is our geometric representation. Okay, this is saying the same thing. We are looking at all these points. Here's a point, here's a particular point, that's the point 30. This is the point 02. But of course there are others. If we go to something like what, 1.5 and 1, so if that's 1.5 and that's 1, that would be another solution. And this is the set of all those solutions. So we can think of the picture or the graphic of that relationship. And one of the things that will help you a lot in this course is to get really good about going back and forth between those ideas. Is, I can think of the set of all these points that satisfy this algebraically and write it down in this nice, quick, concise form, or I can draw a picture of it and think of the physical representation that way. And so that's graphic. Now numerically, I would have something like, here's X, here's Y, right? And I would just have this big table like, there's 3 and 0, here's 0 and 2, and 1.5 and 1, and I just keep going with that. And so that's numerical. And I could represent this in a table, but of course, in the idea here is, this and this are, so the algebraic and the geometric or graphic are much more powerful in many ways, as far as theory and working with relationships and all that. These are going to be the two powerful ways of doing things. Now, numerical is the practical way, right? Okay, so I've got that relationship or I've got this picture, but give me some actual points that will allow me to do something like schedule airlines or something like that. Oh yeah, that's the numerical part. And so we will see some numerical aspects in our problems and so forth that we work on. But the basic underlying theme of this course is going to be looking more at the algebraic and the geometric or graphical types of representations. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with, linear equations. And I'll continue with this in another video. But this just kind of introduces what the heck we're working on and how we'll look at things.